All right, welcome back to the shop. So this video, I'm going to talk about the fuel injection pump for the M1161, M1163 Growler. This is a Bosch pump. I don't know the specifics and numbers. I believe it's really identical to the one that they put in the Dodge's, the 4BT. It's probably not exactly the same, but I believe it's the same pump, basically. So anyways, this Growler here, ITV 73, we'd had it here in the shop. We did a lot of work to it. It came with a bunch of trucks that came from one customer, and so this was actually one of the first ones that we worked on. You can see we did the oil change back in November, and it's like 9 trucks, so we've been weeding our way through all of them. We're almost completely done. Actually, we are completely done now, except for this. We were almost done. We went to start this truck up, and we went and moved it, and it wouldn't shut off. So we pinched off the fuel supply, we got it to shut off, and then we couldn't get it started again. We tried everything. We're priming things, change a filter again. We went through, could not get it to run again. So I finally said, let's check out the fuel system. So I went and looked inside of this driver's side tank, and there was some rust in the screen, some like just crud and corrosion. And then we pulled the tank, and this is the pickup sock. It used to look like that, but actually new, they're white. This thing, the fuel that was in there, I don't know what happened. It must have got some diesel fuel or something mixed in with the jet fuel, sat for a long time or something, and it just gummed up and corroded. I took a few pictures of it. I'll slip them into the video right here so you can see the kind of mold and like jelly stuff that grew in the tank. I think it's the biodiesel that we get here in California. That biodiesel is just as bad as the gasoline here, where you can't store it more than just a few months. So that's something we've got to start to address. I actually bought some additive we're going to put in all these. That'll keep the mold from growing. It'll keep the biodiesel from gelling up like that. So anyways, what we ended up doing, we had to pull the fuel injection pump, and we had to take it to a fuel injection pump place, a local place up here in California, and they took it all apart. When he got it apart, he said that it was just gummed up everywhere, like shellacked up and gummed up inside, and that's why the rack couldn't move in it. That's why it wouldn't work. So we had to totally disassemble it, clean everything up, and rebuild it. Cost a couple $1,000 for that. So we had to pull both fuel tanks out. We had to pull the sending units out, and we had to scrub the tanks. We had to scrub them both. The right one wasn't very bad, but it did have a lot of dirt and debris and stuff in it. The left one was really bad. We ended up actually washing it out with gasoline, and we had to just scrub that thing out. And we've got them both really clean now. We had to blow out the lines to make sure there was no jellied fuel in the lines. So now we're gonna go put it back in. Now taking it out is the easy part, right? You can pull the crap out of the way, you can pull the nuts and bolts out, whatever. Going back together, we do have the printout on how to do it. So I do have the printout here. If anybody watching the video needs to see that, just contact me. Just leave a comment on the video or track me down somehow, and I will share that with you if you don't have it. So basically what we're gonna do, we have to set, let's go over here to the engine real quick. So we have the valve cover off, and we have to set cylinder number 1 on top dead center, compression stroke. Here's the front of the engine, but on this MWM Sprint motor, the rear piston is number 1. So we've got to rotate the crank, and you can tell it's on a TDC right now. We're going to get on top dead center, compression stroke. So what that'll mean is we have a mark on the flywheel that shows us TDC, but that can be 180 degrees off, obviously. So we get it on, we're going to get it on the mark, on the TDC mark, and then if both of these cam lobes are off of valves, the valves are closed, we know that's compression stroke. If we have a valve open, I guess it would be the exhaust valve, maybe the intake, I don't know when they kick in. Then we got to rotate another 180 degrees, and then we'll get both these cam lobes up, and we'll be on TDC, compression stroke. Let me move this out of the way. Down here in this hole is where the pump's going to go. So what the book says to do, it says to find the mark on the gear, which is right here, and you line it up with port A, which is one of the ports where the injection lines go. So this is port A right here. That goes to cylinder number 1. So that mark is here, port A is here, and you can feel it. You can't turn it unless you have this clamped in a vise because it's got a lot of resistance to it. You can turn it a little bit like that, but you can't turn it past a pump stroke, which has 4 pump strokes per revolution. So anyways, we have it turned right up to where you start to feel tension on it with the timing mark on port A. And I don't know how I had a mic that would work for it. They sell a special micrometer attachment that screws into here. you pull a plug out of there and you screw your adapter in, and you can screw a mic on it so that you can, there's some adjustment you have to do, and it's in the paperwork. I'm not even gonna pretend to tell you how to do it right now until after I've done it. But anyways, I found this mic, and it came with just the right kind of a base mount. We put a screw in here. Actually, I had to go down to Ace Hardware and find a tiny little screw that would fit in here to get the right length I needed that was skinny enough, because the adapter on my mic wouldn't fit through the port inside there. But when I crank on this, you can see the needle starting to move. So you can see we've got that hooked up right. Let me get the paperwork and I'll explain this a little better. So then once it's bolted in there, then we loosen this nut, and then we use the dial indicator to adjust it, to fine-tune the adjustment. And then the measurement that we have to read off of here to set that is on this decal, which is on the intake manifold. And it talks about it right here. The ejection timing, top dead center, 1.60 millimeters. And we use that number there to set the timing on that pump. And then I'm not going to bother showing you guys us putting the pump in, doing all that stuff, because honestly it would be a very boring video. Okay, the paperwork says to put the piston of the first cylinder, which we know is the rear cylinder, at top dead center in the compression stroke. Then set the engine at 20 degrees before top dead center by turning the crankshaft counterclockwise as seen from the pulley side. So from this side, we're going to turn the engine counterclockwise to get to 20 degrees before top dead center. So right now Alex is underneath, and he's got just a small bar down there to turn the engine off the flywheel, where you can access it you know, by the transmission. All right, so we turned the pulley a little too far just so I can show you guys what it looks like when you see down there. You can see there's a mark up above. I think it says PMS. I'm not sure what that is, but I think that's TDC in Brazilian language maybe. But you can see the scale there, 10, 15, and 20 degrees before top dead center. So I'm gonna have Alex go back down. We're gonna roll the crank back. Now, since we're rolling it back clockwise, we're gonna have to go a little farther and then start going counterclockwise again. And what that does is that'll work the backlash out of the gears back here on the back of the engine, just so we know that the gears are where they belong. And then once we get to that, we get it on 20, it says that's when we install the pump. All right, so we already rolled it back, and now we're going counterclockwise again. And this will get the backlash out of the gears. And then it's almost there, real slow, just a little bit, right? Tiny bit, right there, stop. Okay, so right there, that's 20 degrees before top dead center. We're gonna install the pump at the 20 degrees before top dead center, and then we're gonna zero out the gauge. It's on the back of the pump, and then we're gonna turn the crank clockwise again until we get back to top dead center. And that should show on the gauge, it should show 0.1 to 0.3 millimeters. And then what we do from there, it says to lock the crank down. We're gonna have to, I don't know where the lock pin goes or whatever, but I'm just gonna watch it to make sure it doesn't turn. And then we loosen that nut on the top of the pump right there, and then we're going to rotate the pump until we get the specs that are right here on this plate, 1.5 millimeters. And once we get to the 1.5 millimeter displacement, that's when we lock it down, and that's how you time the pump. All right, so now that we have it set, we're going to go ahead, and I have a test procedure right here, timing check, just to make sure that what we did was correct. So it says to put cylinder number 1 on TDC on the compression stroke. So we're on TDC. See right down there, it's also labeled PMS or TDC, and in the paperwork it's labeled PMS or TDC. It's kind of funny. So turn the crankshaft pulley counterclockwise. So we start on TDC. We want to turn the crankshaft pulley counterclockwise, as seen from the pulley side, until the dial indicator gauge stops moving. And we set it to 0. Then we turn the crankshaft pulley clockwise, and we go back to TDC or PMS mark on the balancer. And then we see what until the TDC mark gets to the indicator. Then we get the dial indicator gauge reading, and that reading should be what we have stamped here. This 1.6 millimeter. It's like 0.060 or 0.061 of an inch, so like 60 thousandths. So right now we're on TDC, and the gauge, I can zero out the gauge. It doesn't really matter, I guess, at this point. We just want to watch the gauge to make sure that it moves. Okay, go ahead and turn the engine. So we're going counterclockwise with it right now, and you can see right here it's coming around to the scale. And then, so the gauge has stopped moving now. Okay, you can go ahead and stop. And then now Sorry about the bad lighting in here and stuff and the bad filming. It's kind of hard to all this stuff on the way. Okay, so now we have the dial indicator on 0. And so now we want to turn the engine clockwise until we get the mark on the timing mark, the top dead center PMS mark. So he's going to roll it around a little bit more, a little bit right there, just a tiny bit more. Right there. And we look back here at our gauge to see what we have, and we have just right at 60 thousandths of an inch. So we're right there in time. So when we adjust this, we're adjusting the advance on it. It's kind of like adjusting the advance on your distributor, but instead of telling the spark to come in, you know, advance of the part of the compression stroke where they want it to fire, this is starting to squirt fuel through the injector right at the right point in time when the best part of the compression stroke is on that piston, so that it squirts the fuel in it right at the right time. This is setting just the fine-tuning the advancement of that, so it squirts in just ahead of the best part of the compression stroke, so you get the most power and the cleanest power at your fire. So if you set it too far advanced, you're going to get the fuel in there too soon. You can get pre-detonation. You can have issues like that. If it's too late, you're going to already have your compression stroke, like the sweet part of it, where you got all that heat built up and pressure built up, and then your fuel's going to fire in there, and you're not going to have the same power. You're going to have more black smoke as well. So that's why this is fine-tuning that, so you get the optimal amount of fuel squirting in there at the optimal time at the best point of the compression stroke of the piston. So that's kind of it on this fuel injection pump and how to reinstall them. You know, if you guys live in an area with a lot of humidity, or an area with where they're forcing you to buy biodiesel, you really got to think about putting some kind of additive in that tank. I don't know why it gelled up. It's the first one I've seen that did that. I have no idea. I don't know what happened there, but that's something to really keep an eye on, because, you know, these things, these third world engines, you know, these Brazilian engines, they'll take a lot of garbage. But one thing they can't take is that shellacky, jelly, moldy stuff that'll grow in that tank, because you just plugged up that Bosch fuel injection pump. So that's something to really keep an eye on. Keep clean fuel in here and add some kind of additive or something like that if you live in an area where you need that. So anyways, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if this helped you at all, or if it entertained you at all. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And thanks for watching.